and you are watching, maybe listening to another edition of Blewett's Blitz. Today going to be another early edition. I know the last one was an early edition. Again, not sure when this is coming out. This is the morning of February 3rd. So I'm not really going to talk about current news because by the time you guys are listening to this, it's probably a couple of weeks later, whatever it may be. With that being said, though, pumping out a lot of content. I think today is Thursday. So Tuesday I did Thibodeau. Thursday, today I'm doing Ekwonu. Friday, tomorrow doing Neil. And I think on Saturday I'm going to pump out Carl Loftus too. And then by the time Saturday rolls around, I'll probably have watched Jermaine Johnson and maybe have started Linderbaum and or Sauce Gardner or whoever else I'm watching. So busy week again. Wife's gone, pumping out content. Make it easier for myself in the future. So really excited to get in some of these guys. Ekwonu today is probably the most fun I've had watching a prospects film in a little bit this year and last year. I love the way he plays. He has some technical things to work on, which we'll talk about. I'll give you the little list at the end too for Ekwonu. Last night was, by the time you're listening to this, it's probably 2 weeks ago or whatever, but last night was the first time I've ever did a live stream. I did it by myself, which is cool. I'm fine with that. I still talk for over 3 hours. But I took a lot of questions from you guys. We had a lot of good, I think, discussions about, football and who to take, who not to take, all this stuff. And you guys shared your opinions. I shared mine. And then I think we had like 6 or 7 people call in. We had Elias and Afram. We had Solomon. We had Joey. We had Zeus. There's somebody else I'm missing. Mike. I think there's maybe one other. Hopefully I'm not missing the other one. But at least 6 or 7 people. It was freaking awesome. So I plan on doing that more. Like I said, the only thing is with my schedule, I don't work just on Monday through Friday. My schedule rotates. So it's hard for me to have like one lockdown day. Tuesday or the Thursday night every other week, 6 to 8, I can always do. But when it comes to the live stream, the people calling in, I do want to make it 8 to 10. Just because maybe 6 to 8. I'll figure it out. You just stay tuned. Keep the notifications on for the YouTube, and you'll see me go live. That's that. And I'll try to promote it a couple days before Twitter, whatever. But just stay tuned because again, I have a moving schedule. I worked. I wish Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday. I knew the days I'm going to have and the times I'm going to have off all the time, but that's just not how my life works with that stuff. So let's see. I have 44 plays of Ekwonu. Yeah, I got to run. I got a little bit of running around to do today. So this is going to be one of those ones where it doesn't matter for you guys, but it matters for me. I think I'm going to do like first half, second half later on in the day. Let's see here. I just got to organize something. All right. So first play. Just going to organize my screen. This there, that there, and where's that? This over here. That should work. All right. Again, the reason I said one of the most fun prospects I've watched is because his aggression is. I've never seen it personally matched. I've obviously the Jets haven't drafted a ton of offensive linemen, but I've watched a decent amount of offensive linemen, and obviously I've watched offensive linemen in passing of watching other prospects offensively. Off the top of my head, he's the most aggressive offensive lineman I've seen in the last 3-4 years of legitimately like watching film. So it's really, really fun. He does not give up on any reps. You'll see here, which. They're running play. They're running. Looks like they're running RPO, and he's like the conflict. Like if he stays in, they're going to run some type of slant or snag or whatever it is over to this side. So he's run blocking. And again, with an inside zone, a tighter zone play, he just wants to keep his inside leverage. So he's going to be pretty patient to the inside, which he does. Yeah, there's no reason to chase there. If he wants to go outside, let him go outside. So I like the fact that he's patient and kind of takes like that sort of like a brace step. Brace steps are typically backwards like this, but when he's kind of angling off to the outside, it works the same as like a brace step. Right there from Ekwonu. Lands. I can't tell where his left hand lands, but his right hand lands somewhere on the inside. And then again, you're gonna see the power as he extends them, and then you're just gonna see him continue with it continue with it, throw him to the ground. And this is literally the first play I watched. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, I like that already. So again, good angle, good understanding of the blocking scheme. Doesn't do anything crazy right here, but I do like the fact that he lowers his base, has good leverage, is working off his insteps right there. That's all positives. And then you're seeing him again run down his guy. You're always going to see him doing that. Very, 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 very rarely. I can think off the top of my head where he's like, oh, no, I can't even think of a play where he was lazy. I can't. I don't know. He was shed right here, I guess. Let's see. And there was plenty of plays where like that were just him with high effort that I'm not going to put on because it didn't really serve any purpose of showing it. But right here, he was shed. Yeah, so he does that. So I saw it a couple times more early in his season. Which, by the way, I always say which games I watched. And for these guys, again, I'll preface it. I've been watching 3 or 4 games of the prospects. If they're drafted, another review will come out of one of these top guys, and I'll do the rest of their stuff. I watched Clemson, obviously, FSU, and Wake Forest for Icky, just to be transparent. There's sometimes when he's driving guys at second level, he doesn't always necessarily like climb that tree. Again, work off your insteps, have a nice like shoulder width base, so you're able to move, to react to lateral movements. Sometimes he's a little bit shallow, and you can see him pulled off his spot because of that. And a couple times on the outside zone, I've seen him just kind of latch on that inside arm and just run them outside without ever getting without ever making contact with the outside arm. So that's a few times I've seen that he has to try to get contact with the other hand here. He has to flip his hips, get contact because he's leaning a lot into this arm. His arm is defeated. Obviously, going to be very, very off balance, and it's much easier to defeat one arm than 2 arms. That's pretty obvious. So he needs to work on that a little bit. You don't want to just see him try to run out with one hand because he gets shed right there. God doesn't make the tackle, but again, at this point, get outside, left hand. That's great, and now kind of just square up, like base block your guy and let him read him. If he's going to widen, cuts inside. If he spikes inside, bounce it. But you can't just run him outside with one hand. Again, leads to the shed right here for him. So there's some technical things he has to clean up for sure, which you'll see throughout the review. But keep him moving. Ikem attack hit pancake here. Obviously, he's going to be left tackle every time. I don't really have to tell you that. He did play, I believe, this exact snap count is 300 reps at left guard. Not sure if that was this year, last year, or whatever. Maybe I'll watch other games and he'll be at guard, which I obviously want to see. So I think he does fit in initially for the Jets as a right guard. Does he ever switch a tackle? I'm not 100% sure. I think personally, if you draft him, and he's a great guard, don't move him. I'm fine with just having a great guard. I get tackle versus guard. I get the positional importance thing. But again, as I stated in the past, I think people somewhat overrate it. Where, you prefer to have a tackle over a guard. But if the guard is great, leave him at guard. Let's not try to risk throwing him at the tackle. He's already great at one position, and he learned that in his rookie year. So he projects to be a guard for the Jets if he is drafted at 4, which to me, personally, right now, if Aiden Hutchinson and Thibodeau are gone, he's probably my pick at 4. Even though I will be Karlaftis is impressive. The thing that's concerning about not even concerning. Like, I think his athletic ceiling, you could raise some questions about. He doesn't have the greatest bend flexibility, or not flexibility. It's really bend and arm length. Like, his flexibility is fine. And his ability to change direction, like in the middle of a play, is really good too. His lateral is not great. So like, but him like kind of like changing just one way to the other, like quick, short bursty steps are good. But like overall lateral athleticism, tackle radius, bend isn't there, but he's still really, really clean, which we'll talk about. But still I don't want to get off on a whole thing about who I'm taking at 4. But with that being said, right now I'd probably take Ekwonu if those other 2 guys are gone. So I think this is a pretty important review. Attack hit pancake right here. Again, so looks like you have another RPO situation, or you do have another RPO situation. They're run blocking. And because it's an inside zone split, he doesn't have to worry about the emo on this side, the end man on the line. So he's blocking down on a combo to the backer. And thing I always talk about, like this offensive lineman, and I saw this a lot with Moses, obviously Morgan Moses for the Jets. He attacks really, really high on these guys and doesn't create a lot of movement. you want to ideally attack that hip. The hip is your center of gravity. If you attack the hip, that's the best place you can get them to move. You could hit a guy up top, and if he's flexible and he's strong, he's going to absorb that with his upper half. His base isn't going to move. You want to move that base. You want to define that gap. So attack that hip. Does a nice job, leverage, tight elbow into the hip, extension, moves him, doesn't overcommit to it, squares up his guy, gets hands on. So obviously, yeah, it's a pass, but if this were to be a run, he just moved this guy. Now he blocked this guy. That gap's open, obviously. We don't have to worry about 47. That has nothing to do with Ekwonu. But really good play by him right there. I actually want to see if I said he doesn't move to the second level square. I'm starting to forget now because I just watched Neil too. So because there he does. There he kind of see how he climbs square, hands on, and like climbs that tree kind of. That good knee bend, insteps, both hands on. So that's an example of what I just said he didn't do. So I want to see. I got to watch it more throughout the review, and then see my notes I put on him, because you start watching so many guys so quickly, you forget. Like I've already watched, and this was just a few days ago I finished this. I've already watched Neil and Carl Loftus, and I'm already starting to think about Jermaine Johnson. That's the problem with kind of shotgunning reviews. Overset, yeah. This is his oversets and his two-hand punches are his biggest problem, I would say, in pass pro. You ideally, typically, you want that outside foot to split, because then you could both play the outside and the inside. When you overset, this foot gets too far outside and you open up the inside a lot. So he does that enough where it's a weakness for him. And he also punches two hands very, very frequently, if not all the time, which is great if they land. But if you miss on a two-handed punch, you're committing a lot to that punch. If your hands don't land, your hips are locked. Where instead you want to do 1-2, and you can react more. You have more time to react with that second punch, and you're not just throwing all of your weight into one punch. So if it lands, it's the best. If it doesn't land,